What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to the O Show podcast, episode 438 of the show. We are presented by the brand new opening of Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Scottsdale. That's right. After nearly 6 months of promoting the gym, I could finally say that they are open, ready for business. They had VIP week last Tuesday. They had their grand opening on October 30th. We'll have one of their members, their head coaches, on the show here coming up shortly. But they are brand new, again, brand new opening. The grand opening of Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Scottsdale. Sign up for a membership today. We're also sponsored by betonline.ag. It's week 9 of the NFL coming up, Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. The Atlanta Braves are crowned your brand new World Series champions for the first time since 1995. So head on over, sign up for that 50% bonus only at betonline.ag. Make your picks for the week. We also want to give a special shout out to one of our guests that we had on the show recently, Mr. Ian K. and the Beckford Bar, which I actually have in studio right here. There's their logo right there. It is a push-up bar specifically designed. Again, it's a push-up bar. It's designed for the chest. We got a guy who knows something a little bit about working out in the studio today who would know something about that. We got Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, the gym. We got the Beckford Bar from Ian K. And now we got Ian from ReckFit. We were just talking about how we're both from New Jersey and that Arizona is not real life at all when it comes to people's personalities.
It is not real at all. But, people don't really handle our blunt honesty very well, but that's okay.
It's going to be interesting. I'm going back to New Jersey for Thanksgiving as well. We're actually spending it with family from Boston. We got a lot of family from there. Talk about authentic.
Oh, yeah.
It's authentic, but it's also very different from New Jersey and New York.
Very different. Boston is it's like a prettier New York, but I think they're a little bit more vicious than we are in New Jersey, just a little bit.
Again, like growing up there, I did not appreciate it at all. I'm like, everybody's rude. Like, who would want to be raised here? And now looking back, and I wouldn't want to live there full time again. Like, I love living out here. I love the weather. I think that's why we all lived out here. Better weather, promotes a better attitude. But looking back at it, I'm like, oh my God, like I wish people were way more raw and real with people.
Yeah.
And people didn't get offended as much.
Yeah, for sure. I miss New Jersey in certain ways. I mean, mostly the blunt, honest interactions, the season sometimes, although I do like having the option being able to see snow here. I can drive to Flagstaff up north and then come back and be like, okay, cool, that was fun. Now I'm back in 70 degrees and stuff. But I'm excited to go back. It's going to be the first time I've been back in two-ish years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you went to what, Westminster Plainsboro High School?
Yes, Westminster Plainsboro South, the Pirates. I was a all-state defensive lineman there, and I went to Howard University first. Shout out to the Bison, by the way. And then I went to Monmouth University in Long Branch. Shout out to the Hawks. Keep it going, guys. You're doing good.
I love Long Branch. We would go there just for beach days all the time over the summer.
It was the only time I was ever happy being in summer school. We would literally just go to a class and just hang out at the beach all the time. I loved it, man. Like, it's funny when people are like, "Oh, did you hang out with the Jersey Shore cast?" I'm like, I actually have once.
Yeah.
And it was fun, man. Like, I think New Jersey is a misunderstood place. Very unique people, very unique state. The armpit of America, as most people call it. But honestly, I'm thankful that I was able to be raised in New Jersey and come out here. I feel like being a native New Jerseyan, I guess is the word, it's helped me avoid a lot of BS out here. You can see through a lot of stuff. I think people think a lot of people from New Jersey are jerks or assholes, but, it is what it is.
Some of them are actually
some
assholes.
of them actually are. But with that being said, no, like I miss it. But I love the weather here. I love just how it's a land of opportunity out here, especially in the fitness world. You can really make a name for yourself out here. It's unfortunate that a lot of gyms are closing out in New Jersey and they're going through their own thing that I don't even want to deal with right now when it comes to all their election stuff and COVID stuff, but hopefully they figure it out. But I'm ready to get my family out here so they can retire and just hang out.
It's also different because this time of year, it's easy for them to say, the second swing of COVID's coming back because the weather is getting really bad. We're here, you really don't have that
crazy?
excuse.
Yeah. I mean, like, why wouldn't you want to come here? Like it really is. I feel like they named Florida the Sunshine State without even thinking about it. Like it is literally sunshine here all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, the summer sucks, but like you got to treat summer here like you would winter anywhere else. Just stay inside. Like don't just turn your AC on. You'll be fine. It's really not that bad.
No. Well, I want to go all the way back because, again, like you being, in fitness, like this is your true passion, going all the way back to your football playing days.
Yep.
You played 2 years of professional football in the Arena League. I know you had to work out with the Giants as well. Big Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Huge Philadelphia
We'll get
Eagles
into
fan.
that. What part of Jersey did you grow up in?
So actually, I was born in Abington, Pennsylvania, and I lived in Philadelphia for 8 years. And then I moved to New Jersey.
So those were your formative years.
Yes, so those were my formative years. I was a Philadelphia native at first, and I've always been a rebel. My entire family are New York Giants fans, and me being the rebel, I'm like, I'm gonna be an Eagles fan. My family did not take that too well. They were happy when I got picked up by the Giants, but it felt weird wearing that blue color when I've worn nothing but midnight green my whole life. It was odd, but I was thankful and lucky to be able to even be in that position. I worked years and years and years to make it to the league, and even though it was just a tryout and didn't work out the way I wanted to, still in my mind I'm like, I got there. Mission accomplished.
I can relate in the sense of my entire family is New York Giants fans, but I went the opposite route. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan.
No.
Yeah. So none of us are on the same page.
Yeah.
At all.
How did that happen? And please don't say because it's America's team. Please don't.
Well, it is America's team. They always get the America Game of the Week spot too. I just want to point that out there. Go Cowboys. I'll be honest. I started when I first got into the NFL. I was a Jets fan.
Ooh, it's acceptable to change.
There were a lot of kids my age who were we're all changing teams.
Yeah.
And I just chose the Cowboys because this is the way I rated it. I'm like, the Cowboys are just as heartbreaking as the Jets. However, they have a lot better legacy, and I think overall, with the amount of money that they have, that Jerry Jones is probably going to invest in the team, they're going to have a lot better future than the Jets. And so far, so good, but obviously they can't win important playoff games, which is the one thing.
I just don't understand for the life of me. And like honestly, if I went down a different career path in life, I definitely would have tried to have been an NFL GM. I just don't understand why certain teams, the Jets in particular, cannot find a quarterback.
Nope.
Like, just a decent one. Like, the most decent quarterback they've had was, for the Jets? Mark Sanchez. And he gets torn apart. Like,
see, and those were the days I was a fan, too.
See, and Mark wasn't bad. Like, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And I just feel like with New York media being what it is, they shortened that dude's career, man.
The media really messed him up with the butt fumble. That'll never die down.
And I was actually just explaining to my fiance who Mark Sanchez is and what actually happened with them. And it's unfortunate that we remember that and not the fact that he went to back-to-back AFC championship games. But
my dad got me a birthday card with like the butt fumble, like frame by frame, like have a butt fumble birthday, Jack. That was like my 12th birthday. And after that, I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm a Cowboys fan now.
Yeah.
Just as disappointing. Every year, like we are literally.
It's every year. Every year is your year, and you always somehow in the wild card or first round is just.
We won with Cooper Rush on Thursday or on Sunday night.
You look good, man.
Who cares? They're 6-1, and I won't get excited until we go to the NFC Championship game. That's my measuring stick. Divisional round, not even gonna get excited.
I know that everyone. And listen, my Eagles, we're going through some weird thing right now with our team. I don't even know. I just don't want to talk about us. But I honestly, in my bones, feel like the Arizona is going to make a deep run. I really, really think they are. From top to bottom, they look like the most complete team. Like, yeah, Dak. When Dak goes, the Cowboys go. My question for them is, how much longer can he hold up?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. And that defense
I will
still
say
is
this,
suspect.
though. Like, Kyler Murray right now could be in the same position Dak Prescott was in his rookie year, where they just had a kick-ass year, and then postseason comes along. And, like, it's not even that he performed poorly, but it's like last-second field goal, something went last-minute turnover, and you just come up short. We've seen that a million times.
Yeah. I think, if anything, if if the Cowboys were going to win a Super Bowl, it's this year, like 100%. It
won't
has
be.
to be this year, but
It
it
won't
won't.
be.
You still got to go through Tom Brady. You still got to go through Aaron Rodgers. You got to see Kyler, who's surging right now. Who knows who's gonna be in the wild card?
Even the Rams are one of the wild card teams right now. They've lost one game.
Yeah, and Matt Stafford. If right this second, Matt Stafford in my mind is the MVP.
Really?
Right this second.
Matt Stafford out of everybody.
Matthew
really?
Stafford right now is the MVP of the league. And you could say, what? Nah, not comeback player of the year because he wasn't hurt or anything. But like, imagine Matt Stafford on a team or in a franchise like the Rams, or even just put Matt Stafford on any other team his entire career. He's probably winning 2 to 3 Super Bowls with his talent. So like, I'm happy that this guy is balling out. He's super consistent. His arm is still live at what, 32, 33 years old. He probably has another 5 years left in him. Like they're gonna win a Super Bowl. I don't know if it's gonna be this year. I think it's a cheat code and an absolute travesty that Von Miller is an LA Ram right now. It's like not even fair what the Rams are doing. They're like Thanos. They're just collecting everybody right now. But it's exciting. This second half of the season is gonna be cool.
That's a perfect analogy. They are really collecting everybody right now. We've never really had like a super team in the NFL before, but like they're really stacking up when it comes to defensive.
Yeah. I guess the other super team you can say is Tampa Bay, because it's just like Tom Brady is basically like their GM. He's just picking
I feel
guys.
like they have a ton of guys who were good, like Antonio Brown, great receiver, but he's not the Antonio Brown from the Steelers years.
No. But the fact that he picked, he got Rob Gronkowski out of retirement. He got Leonard Fournette, who was walking on the street after he got cut from who was it? Jacksonville? Yeah, Jacksonville. Who else did he grab? Yeah, Antonio Brown. Like, only Tom Brady can do that. Only Tom Brady can walk into a general manager's office and say, I want him. Okay, Tom, no problem. Like,
cheap deals, too.
Very cheap, friendly deals. And I think that's why they're going to be a problem for another 2 to 3 seasons. Just because guys are willing. Why wouldn't you want to play with Tom Brady?
You think he lasts another 2-3 seasons?
Oh, for sure.
Like if he wins this year, he's going to come back.
Dude, he's a fucking freak of nature. He takes care of his body so well. He's still, and the great thing is, like, let's say that his arm starts to die down. Just pound the rock. Just run the ball. It's okay. And instead of Tom throwing the ball 30, 35 times, 20, 25 times, just high percentage throws, you're going to win games. He's smart at the end of the day. Like, sure, his physical might decline, but the football is 90% mental. Like, it really is. That's why I laugh at people like, I can go out there. An NFL playbook is this thick. And that when I got my first playbook, like the first thing I did was I was like, I can't believe I have to memorize a quarter of this by tomorrow night. Like, what am I going to do?
Was that like Pee Wee high school?
Dude, it is like a different language. You literally like, because every team and every coach and every scheme has different language in it.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest thing. So people like, I love it when I hear just like casual fans talking like, wow, how do you not know that assignment? I'm like, bro, this is some of the most complex stuff in sports that you have to learn.
And then you call an audible.
And then you have to call an audible. Yeah. So then when Tom Brady looks at you and says, check, it's a chess match. Like, guys, you're not just running out there and playing tag. Like, we're talking about some of the brightest minds at the highest level of one of the most violent sports in the world with ultra apex predator humans. That's what football players are. And you are trying to you're trying not to get killed, but also trying not to mess up at the same time, especially with all that money on the line. Like, guys, it's intense. It's crazy.
When was the first time you were introduced to a playbook? Was it literally like middle school, high school ball?
First playbook, high school, actually. So I had really, really bad asthma growing up as a kid, and I wasn't able to play football up until high school. I tried Pee Wee football, and I was literally that kid that was like, I literally could not run. And I got cleared. And then my freshman year, I'm literally just thinking like, oh, we're just going to go out there and run around. And then I got the playbook, and I'm like, what the hell is an ISO? What's power? What's zone? Like, what are we doing? They're like, Ian, these are plays. I'm like, okay. One of my friends literally, you'd be surprised how much you can learn from Madden. Like, that's actually how I learned initially. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go play Madden. And I'm like, oh, that's what a dive is. Oh, that's what option is. Oh, okay, cool. So in retrospect, a high school playbook versus a professional, even in arena football, which is only, what, 9-man football?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff you need to know. Especially, like, and I played linebacker and defensive lineman. Like, linebacker, you need to know everything on defense. Like, you need to know where everyone's lining up. So basically, you're the quarterback of the defense. When I got moved to defensive line, I was like a defensive end, stand-up outside linebacker. You really, really, really had things condensed, but still, like, you need to know. I would say, like, for me, what I would study is body language of the offensive lineman, knowing, like, where their split was, how the set was going to be, and all that stuff. So I knew, like, okay, I can fire off the ball and go get a sack, or I should probably slow play this, and then you need to know stunts and all that. Like, a lot more goes into football than what people realize.
I mean, just the conditioning aspect of alone would have me exhausted.
Yeah, it's a full-time job, and I think that's ultimately why my career didn't last as long as it should have, because I didn't take my physical conditioning as serious as I should have until it was already too late. I definitely was not mature enough to be a pro, and that's why I'm not a pro anymore. I definitely didn't take care of my body the way I should have, and I think a lot of young athletes need to realize, like, you need to make a decision the moment you put on a helmet. How far do you want to take this? Do you want to just be okay? Do you want to be a collegiate athlete, or do you want to be a pro? If you want to be a pro, you need to take care of your body. You need to take care of your mind. You need to study. You need to keep your ass home sometimes to stay out of trouble. You need to cut alcohol. You need to take care of your bodies. The guys that are built to last in the NFL spend thousands, if not millions. Like Russell Wilson spends like 1.1 million to condition his body and to help him with recovery and stuff. It is another full-time job. I didn't realize that until I was like already there, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm getting manhandled right now. I should have definitely gotten stronger and focused on certain things more.
I mean, it's an investment not only with your time, but financially as well. Like, what if you don't have those finances to, like, oh, like, I'm trying to, let's say you're trying to bulk up for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't eat 10 meals a day because I don't have the finances in order to do that, to buy, like, meal preps.
Well, if you were in college, luckily you have the cafeteria, but even then, cafeteria is only open for a certain amount of hours. So for me, I literally had an eating schedule where I had to go check in with the coach and make sure that I ate, because when I switched from a 225-pound middle linebacker to a 250-something, 260-pound defensive lineman, I had to eat like 5 meals a day. And I had to check in with my coach for every meal.
Yep.
Now, for the guys who are, like, for example, arena football, you don't get paid much. Like, looking back on it, like, I was happy making, I'm going to make $20,000 a year. Oh, I'm going to make $30,000. Oh my God, I'm rolling in cash. No, you idiot. You're not making anything. I was getting paid like sometimes $300 just to stand on the sideline because I was undressed for actually the first league that I played in, you didn't even get paid if you didn't play. So that was a paycheck that I missed. And I'm like, well, damn, like, I really need to step up my shit or I'm not going to have a living. Like, what am I doing? And then figuring out how to pay for food and all that stuff. Like, you have to get creative sometimes. It's like, shout out to all the arena football players out there, because I know what you're going through. And sometimes it is hard. Sometimes you do have to work another job on top of being a professional athlete. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do and get creative, man. Like, I can tell you, I've probably eaten like 30,000 cups of ramen in my life, just trying to get carbs in any way possible when I was on the road, just traveling for football.
I mean, that's got to be tough, especially for that occupation. You know, like you talked about being irresponsible or immature. Are you just saying that, like, nutrition-wise, or were you a big partier?
Big partier.
Yeah.
I definitely, if you can ask anybody that I went to college with, life of the party, always having a good time. And I think that was my problem. I didn't take things as serious as I should. Yeah. I would say that's my only regret from my football career, is that I didn't take it as serious as I should. I was frankly using football as an outlet to, one, release a lot of anger. I was a really angry kid. And instead of, getting in trouble and getting expelled from school, I was thrown into football. And honestly, it worked out. But instead of looking at it as an outlet or just a game, I should have looked at it as, wow, this is a career or a platform or opportunity that this could have literally changed my life. And by the time I realized that, it was too late. And now I hope that I could share my story to a young guy who is talented, has what it takes, but doesn't necessarily have the maturity. Whoever you are, if you are listening to this, just grow the fuck up. That's it. When it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you need to make a decision as a man. How are you going to go about this? Are you going to waste an opportunity? Because that's what the NFL is. It's an opportunity. You don't deserve to go to the NFL. You earn it. I had my opportunity. I lost it. There's really no other story other than that. I was more focused on trying to live a lifestyle that I didn't even earn yet. And because of that, it got cut short. It is what it is. But I can look back on it and speak of it positively because I think that I've been able to reach certain young guys that I've either trained or mentored that are in the league and say, hey, don't do what I did. Because there's a lot more guys like me in my position who didn't take it as serious as they should have. And there's a reason why you're on year 2, 3, 4, some of them 8.
I think this is a perfect time to bring up one of your Instagram story lashes. Zach, if you want to pull one of those up there in the black and white. Because, like, you talk about all this stuff, here's one of them. He's had the pleasure of spending a large amount of my time indulging all of those. If you're having any of these issues, you need to ask yourself these 4 things. So let's unpack the first one, why you're spending all of your energy and resources on temporary people. What led to this?
So temporary people essentially being, have you ever just had friends around you who, were just there for the fun times?
They were 100%. I think everybody's.
Yeah, we all have those friends where, they're there for the good time. They're there for the highs. But when you really need somebody, are they there? If you're going through a hard time, are they there? More times than not, they aren't. So you need to
actually there, not just sitting there like, oh, that sucks,
like
man.
Present in the moment with you. So you need to ask yourself, who is really my friend? Who's my family? Who cares about me? Who loves me? And who's just there for what I provide, how I make them feel, what I might do for them? Because there's a very big difference between them. There's unconditional and then there's conditional. Unfortunately, a lot of the world is conditional. So for athletes or just people in general, you need to ask yourself, who is temporary? Who's just there when you're at the top of the mountain, at the peak? But also who's going to be there at the lowest or just the mundane times, the normal times? Who's there when you just want to just talk? Who's there when you just want to try to think of a good example? But hey, you want to go get a workout? No, I'm busy. Do you know how many times people will be like, hey, bro, I'm going to come work out with you at 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, okay, I'll see you there. Crickets. Those are temporary people because I know, like, you weren't serious about it. I just said, okay. And I'm enthusiastic about it. I knew they weren't going to come. I just understand how most people work. And I don't get mad at them. I don't shame them for it or anything like that. It's just knowing who you should give your energy to. I think that's what I mean in general when I'm talking about temporary people. Reciprocated energy. I'm going to give energy to people who give energy to me.
And those are going to be your closest.
And those are those are my closest people. It doesn't matter if there are some people that I've only known for a couple months that I would say that I high in a holder regard than people that I've known for 15 years.
Really? See, that's kind of a tricky thing that some young people don't understand. Like, it doesn't matter if you're friends with someone for 15 years or literally like 15 days.
Yeah. Loyalty has an expiration date. Because the moment that you stop reciprocating energy, the moment that you stop just being who you've always been, that is over, is done. Like, life continues, life keeps going on. So if someone, falls off of being a friend, and I know, listen, I have this problem too. My biggest, I guess, like, toxic trait is that I am the worst at following up with people sometimes because I get wrapped up in my own stuff. and I'll forget to call back. I'll go months sometimes, and I'll be like, dude, I am so sorry.
I'm the worst with emails.
I am so bad. I'm so bad. If I open my phone, I probably have like 500 like unread messages or voicemails and stuff, and I'm like, my bad. I'm sorry. But sometimes I just don't want to. What's the best way to put this? Because of the job that I have to give my energy to a lot of people, and I love them. I want to generally help people through fitness, mental health coaching, or just life, or just being a good person. But sometimes I'm like, I need to disconnect, especially from my phone. Sometimes I literally want to throw my phone against the wall. Like, my fiance actually made us take a trip to Antelope Canyon and stay off our phones for 3 days. Bro, amazing. Amazing. My phone is the number one source of my finances, my business, and everything goes through my phone.
That's the tough thing,
but
right?
also sometimes I'm like, I don't even want it. Like, go away. Please go away. But yeah, so sometimes I think I just like, I know that I have to disconnect, and I'll just tell people like, hey, I just didn't have the energy to give you what you need right now. And
you probably walked away your brain a lot healthier after 3 days off.
Dude,
like 72 plus hours without looking at that blue light.
Not worrying about likes, shares, helping, someone with writing another workout program. Like something like, and I think that's something I wasn't prepared for when I first started, really, really being on my, my game with building this brand and this business, was taking the time that I need for myself. And I think that we live in such a fast society, and it's hustle this, hustle that. Like, you always got to be the best. You got to be the best. And sometimes it's like, dude, like, I just don't fucking care. I don't care right now. And I will go at my pace. Sometimes I don't need to go at the world's pace. The world can wait, because everyone is already distracted by other things or have their own thing going on.
Right. The sun's going to rise in the morning. Like, you don't have to get everything done all at once.
And
which is very, very tough to understand. Even now, like, I say this now, I'll probably wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, shit, I should have done that.
I mean, before I got here, I have to work on the rest of our rebrand. I was building a new website, and my fiance was like, what are you doing? You have to go to a podcast. Like, give your energy and time towards the podcast episode that you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Go do that. And I'm like, you're right. Okay. Workaholic, man.
Right.
It's a blessing and a curse.
It goes back to aligning yourself with people who know your strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
Like your fiance, who knows, like, okay, this is not going to be good, and does right by you.
Yep.
What else we got up on the rant board, Zach? Because there was one, you talking about, who are you trying to impress by giving away his hard time and energy? Like, we kind of just talked about that. Like, you talk about surrounding yourself with, bad people. Like, when it comes to guys specifically, like the wrong women, drugs and alcohol, gambling, etc.
Yeah. So the second one, I'm trying to see. I should have brought my glasses.
These were a lot smaller than I anticipated. Yeah, that's my bad.
I would say when it comes to trying to impress, I think that we spend a lot of time impressing people that we don't even know. And most of that is on social media. Like, and I have to check myself sometimes. What am I really doing this post for? What am I really doing this for? Am I doing this out of ego? Am I doing this to get likes? Am I doing this to try to help my business? Like, what am I really doing this for? And sometimes I feel like that we forget sometimes that social media is not real. It's literally not real life. It is a highlight reel. And you need to sometimes not take things so personally from someone who's on a fake account, talking shit to you, criticizing you, sharing things that you may not want to be shared. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Which is very dangerous, because some people think that's their entire life. Like, if you're a business owner, your entire outlet of information is on social media.
It is.
And if you don't have that, where's all my hard work,
Yeah. And I think that, the beautiful thing about, my social media page is that I like to showcase the hard work that my clients do. I like to showcase the hard work that my fiance and I do, the charity work that we do, and all this stuff. But sometimes I'm just like, as much as I like doing this, sometimes, again, like I said before, I just want to disconnect. Yes, it's important, but it's not the end of the world if something isn't well received. Like I've talked to a young guy, he wanted to do a booty building boot camp and stuff, and he was like, like I just don't have the right audience, and I need to make sure I get enough likes and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, likes don't pay your fucking rent. Like you need to make something that's frankly going to be better than everybody else in your area. You need to tell people that it's better and why, and just keep hitting that emotional button. Because at the end of the day, selling something is about getting to the emotional core of someone. I have something that you need. Oh, you're overweight? Okay, how did we get here? How do you feel right now? Well, I'm sad. Why are you sad? Because I stopped taking care of myself. Okay, let's take care of you. You're selling to people's emotions. You're not selling, like, this particular person, same guy. Well, I want to market towards women. Okay, dude, stop taking shirtless photos of yourself. Post a person that other than you. You're saying that you want to market all this stuff, but you're not showing the value that you're providing. How can you sell something and you're not showing like a before and after photo? Because at the end of the day, when we're talking about fitness, if you're a trainer, it is not about what you can do for your body. Be a bodybuilder then. It's what you can do for other people. And once I realized that, I was like, but also success started to come because I stopped focusing on me. I'm focusing on helping other people. And that's what I think that a lot of people forget at the end of the day. Just be of service to other people. It doesn't matter what it is. Like you're providing a service. You're giving people a whole bunch of different people, different characters, and you're talking to them and putting them on a platform where they can share their story. That's important because at the end of the day, I feel like, again, when you hit the emotional core of something, or if people really get to know somebody, but besides on social media or what they see on that platform, they can build a bond with that person. Like, damn, we actually have a lot more in common than I realized. I think it's about humanizing us. And I think that social media in general and in the fitness world specifically, kind of between editing everything and then having all these unrealistic expectations of what a body should be, and sometimes like it's overwhelming for a lot of people. Like I get why some people are just like, well, fuck it, I'm just not going to do it because I don't look like that guy. Hey, dude, you're never going to look like that guy. That guy's a genetic freak of fucking nature. But also some people are on performance enhancers. Now, then some people won't say that, but it is what it is. The fact that a lot of people haven't caught on to that is actually just like really, really dumb to me. And
Right.
You're being very naive. Like you need to understand a lot of the people that you see on that platform have either edited themselves or on performance enhancers, which I do not think anything is wrong with that. However, I do believe that it's wrong if you're on a performance enhancer and selling or doing and saying that you're
Right,
natural and making a profit of it. Like that's
Being
bullshit.
a professional athlete too, that affects a lot of people.
Let me say now, there are a lot of people, how can I say this? The higher the stakes, the more you have to do to make sure that you stay in the game. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword. I get why guys are. I get why it's frowned upon. But with that being said, it's naive of the world to think that people aren't. It's just the reality of the situation.
Is there a healthy way to take performance enhancers in your estimation? Like there's some that are healthy.
Yeah,
for sure.
use a doctor. Go to a doctor. Do not just order off the black web.
No.
Go talk to somebody. If we're talking about just like testosterone, right? Go see an endocrinologist. Go see somebody who can help you balance out your hormones. There's nothing wrong with, if you're a man and your testosterone tanks and you just want to feel better, because that's what testosterone does at the end of the day, besides working on making your body more muscular and lowering down your body fat and increasing your sex drive, you feel better. So if you just feel like shit and you want to feel better, and oh, guess what? You're not even producing testosterone anymore. Just go see a doctor and just go get injections if you need it. And with that being said, on the reverse side of that, I train 99% of my clientele is women. There are some women that are like, Ian, for the life of me, I cannot lose weight. I just can't. I say, hey, there's nothing that I can do right now that's going to help you. I'm going to refer you to a doctor who's going to help you get on thyroid medication, Figure out what's going on internally, because if you don't fix your internal, nothing on your external is going to change. Literally nothing. There's nothing I can do. You can do every diet. You can work out 3 times a day, and nothing's going to change unless we get your hormones balanced. I mean, people need to change their view and perspective a bit on when it comes to that particular subject. And also, I'm the type of person where I just think if they're not hurting anybody, it's none of your goddamn business what they're doing.
Right.
Like who cares at the end of the day? If they look at themselves in the mirror and they're proud of themselves, like, and people think like, oh, just because they took that, so that's gonna make me buff. No, dude, that's not how it works. That is not. And every single human being who's ever an athlete that's ever taken testosterone or this or that, and women too, that doesn't take away from their hard work. They still busted their ass. They still followed in nutrition. They're still what you call it, very militant with how they do things. People just think, oh, they just took that and they look like that. That's not how it works. You still have to do the work. And you see a lot of that at like freaking LA Fitness and social media. People are like, oh, I would be that way. Oh, I'll be that swollen, that shredded too. Right. No, you wouldn't.
Maybe you would for about 6 weeks. And
yeah,
then
6 weeks,
and
then like no. And the reason why I say go see a doctor too is just like at the end of the day, like don't self-prescribe anything. Just don't. Just go see a professional. That's your prerogative. Do whatever makes you happy.
When did all of this, because obviously you're very knowledgeable in all of it, how did it all come together when you first started, not just ReckFit, but, Instabooty was the first installment years back, right?
So the Instabooty actually came out of literally my back against the wall and necessity. Yeah. I was in a very dark place in my life. I basically burned a lot of bridges. I had substance abuse problems at the time. I quit a lot of jobs. I was going through just my own personal hell, and I really needed to turn my life around. And so I literally just sat there and for about 6 to 8 months creating a program, coming up with a vision for what I wanted. And that's how the Instabooty was born. I literally, and this is for, young trainers too, don't be afraid to charge at a very low price to prove a point. What I mean by that was I literally had 10 people sign up for a $100 challenge, and I was going to train them for 8 weeks. I had to live off of $1,000 for 2 months. And after I showed those before and afters, it took off. And then I got more people, and I slightly raised my prices. And I got more people, slightly raised my prices. I had to refine stuff. I, messed up here and there. I figured out how to, really make my business work better. I figured out how to make my program tighter and just make it like clockwork. And 4 years later, we evolved into ReckFit. Now, the story behind why we had to change our name is because Instagram basically saw that I was trademarking not only the name, but also an app called the Instabooty, and they didn't like that.
Naturally, yeah. Yeah,
naturally. So anybody trying to put the name Insta in their business, don't. Instagram is going to come after you. It's going to happen. Very unfortunate that it happened, but honestly, it was a blessing in disguise because I pigeonholed myself into a way of training people. And not that I'm not grateful for it. I love the booty building stuff. I love all the women that I train. I love the opportunities that we've had, but I just wanted more. I wanted to be uncomfortable again because I got comfortable for a little bit. I just was like, I'm not being challenged with this anymore. I want to build something that I truly believe in. And ReckFit was always a name that I actually operated under. It basically takes from the word reckless abandon, which means to live life without fear. And I feel like for a majority of my life, that's how I've lived my life.
Yeah.
And I really preach that to my clients, is saying, hey, listen, like when you walk in that door, all your problems, leave it. I don't care what we do in this gym today or what the workout is. You're going to give it 100%. You're going to push yourself. You're not going to be afraid, because fear ultimately is an illusion. You will find a way to get that 200 pounds up off your back. You will figure out a way to maintain a diet and have the lifestyle and the healthy and build healthier choices and decisions. You will figure, like, it's not a matter of if or, oh, I can't. We refused certain rhetoric in our group because me personally, I've been through the lowest of lows in my life, and I know what that feels like for a lot of people. And I not only got myself out, but I had people help me do it. And I think that's why we're so popular, because at the end of the day, it's about community. And the people that bought into it, they're thriving right now. The people that didn't, it is what it is. And I know that about me. I know I'm not for everybody. And I know you've been following me for a little bit on social media. I am very blunt. I'm very honest. I can be kind of an asshole sometimes, but I'll be your asshole. I'll always be your biggest fan. I'll always be your biggest supporter. But at the end of the day, I am going to push your buttons a little bit, because all I'm going to do is trying to show you, I'm going to put a mirror towards you. This is what you're actually doing. And my clients do that to me. If I'm not being my best or I'm not being a good coach, they'll call me out. Ian, you know what? I thought you could have been a better coach today. And I'll say, you know what? You're right. I'm not going to have an ego about it. I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm going to say, you know what? Whether I agree with you or not, I will be better. That's it.
You probably want that too, out of your clients.
Yeah, I want
them to
that.
push back a little bit. Yeah, like, you're not living up to your potential either.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes our group so special. And again, it's not for everybody. There is a very particular type of human being that trains with us, both men and women. Even though, listen, I will put every single woman I train up against any other boot camps clients. Like, they are mentally tough. And I think that's why ultimately they come back. It's because they love the accountability. They love the fact that my fiance and I will be their biggest cheerleaders and supporters, but also, if need being, we'll say, hey, like, what are you doing? You're better than that. Why are you doing this to yourself? Because ultimately you're doing it to yourself. All your decisions affect you. They don't affect us. Because at the end of the day, when we turn those gym lights off and go to bed at night, I can go to bed knowing that, you know what? I gave today my best. Did you?
How quickly do those who don't buy into it leave?
Immediately.
Like, really?
Immediately.
After like one session?
Most people know.
Are you that tough right out of the gate?
No. I honestly, I've softened my approach. I know that I'm not naive to think that I'm the most, what's the word I would say? I can be a dick sometimes. It is what it is. But I coach hard, but I love hard. I support hard. I give everyone my all, my everything. And people definitely have to earn that part of me now, where I'm not, like, you have to earn my, what's the way to put it? My tough love, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just know, and I also know who is receptive to it and who's not. And I wish I knew that at 27 when I first started this. At 32 now, I can say, you know what? I know who will be receptive to the message I'll give and how I'll say it, and I also know who won't. So I'm doing better, and my fiance is literally a saint. She reminds me every day, Ian, be soft. And I'm like, okay, you're right. But sometimes some of my female clients love it. They're like, no, dude, like, tell me to get on my shit. Like, no, don't, like, tell me to get it going.
Some people love the discipline. Some people grew up with it too. Like, your fiance grew up in Oregon, where you grew up in Philly and New Jersey, where it was probably completely different. You grew up a football player, the tough mentality that came with it. You probably molded that mentality into something that you have today and what you're doing with your clients. Yep. You tried out for WWE NXT, I saw. That had to be one of the more disciplining things you had to do too.
That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Like,
I could imagine, even as a football player.
Yeah, I have, like, the hardest football practice I've ever had in my life doesn't even compare to one WWE workout. And I mean that. Like, it's not even, it's a whole different beast. Because I would say the worst environment I ever played football in, actually any football arena, because you're basically playing on concrete, right? Bro, when you hit that mat in the WWE, even like the ropes, that motherfucker hurts. Like, it is not a game. Like, one of the first things we had to do, you had to jump off the ropes and basically, like, trust fall and learn how to fall the right way.
Take a right bump, right?
Yeah, take the right bump. And that does not feel good, man. And so people that are, sit on the sidelines and understand, like, oh, I could do that. No, bro, you can't. I'm telling you. And I did tryouts with some very, very elite people, athletes, trainers, actors. Some guys were UFC fighters there.
Right, because like in the sports entertainment industry,
Yeah.
you're getting actors who think like, okay, this is entertainment, and then you're getting fighters
yeah,
who are like, I know this type of element.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, you're really getting hit. Like, you're
Yeah.
really hitting each other, and you're really falling off of stuff. You're really like, it's insane. And I have such respect for those guys, because not only are you trying to maintain a character and build a character and follow these storylines and all this stuff, you have to try your best to not hurt another human being. Like, you have to make it real enough and do that. I think they're on the road like 100 something days. Like, it's a car accident every single night. Like, that it's insane. And honestly, it was one of the best experiences of my life. Like, I have such a newfound respect for just that world and those guys. And the mixed martial arts world, like, I've become such a big fan of UFC and all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, what these guys do is it's amazing. And for any NFL player or athlete thinks like, oh, I can just go to the no, bro, it's not that easy. It's not.
Brock Lesnar said that WWE training when he first started was tougher than some of his conditioning training with the Minnesota Vikings when he tried out in the NFL.
Yeah, and it makes me even further upset with how much I didn't take, my fitness as serious as I should have when I was a pro, because I was like, dude, if I wrestled like those guys did or did any of that, like, oh my God, I could have done damn near any sport. Like, those people are freaking phenomenal. Even like the acrobatics and being able to control your body in midair. Like, I don't think people realize that. Like, when these people fall off like the ladders and the freaking cages and stuff, there's a certain way you have to fall. And if you don't, you could die. Like, guys, you can die doing this. So yeah, it's entertainment, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Like, these people are freaks of nature.
No, I mean the ring has it has the mat that you fall on, but it's wood underneath there.
Yeah.
And then the barricades and the black padding, like, that's not.
And that
soft
shit does
at all.
not give at all.
No.
Yeah, you're gonna lose every time if you don't hit it the right way.
Who trained you for that? Or who was the trainer at the tryouts?
Oh my gosh, dang, it was like 4 years ago. He's gonna get mad at me that I don't remember his name. Shoot, it'll come back to me. I remember a bunch of people that I was there with though. My guy Jeremiah, he's on Floribama Shore. He was there.
There were some young, there were like 22-year-old kids there.
Yeah,
right?
we were kids then when we did that. Who else was there? Shoot, there was an Olympic sprinter guy there. There was a UFC fighter there. There were a lot of Instagram, famous people on in the fitness world. There were a lot of people there. Damn, it's really bothering me that I don't remember the names. But yeah, dude, that facility down there in Orlando is first of all, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, state of the art. Like, you feel like you're in it, man. And when they did that NXT stuff there, when it started to first get popular and hit mainstream, it was phenomenal stuff, man. I can't say enough about it. Like, if I was younger when I did it, like, if I wish that I did it when I was like 24, 25, I definitely think I would have, gone that route instead of chasing football.
Really?
Yeah. I was that engrossed in it because, not only did I love acting was actually my first love. That was
right.
actually
You're a theater kid,
yeah,
right?
I was a theater kid. I got a partial scholarship to go to Princeton University for theater, and I just thought that athletics was like the thing to do. I had to, I thought I had to choose one. I tried the acting thing a little bit. I got to be in a couple commercials, hung out in LA for a little bit,
Right.
fun stuff, but I just couldn't find the thing where I can do like the physicality stuff plus the acting. And I wish I found the WWE sooner, or at least like applied for it. I never what's crazy was like all those years I was like, oh, I'll never make that. Da, da, da. And the fact that I even got that invite, I was like, oh shoot, maybe I should have tried it.
So it was a straight invite, like it wasn't.
Yeah,
even on
I
your
mean,
table.
like I applied for it like a year prior and completely like forgot about
It's
it.
like, yeah, they're
like
not-
literally, I was
they're
like,
not
yeah,
gonna
okay.
check.
And then a year later, it was just like, hey, we found you through social media. Like, we actually want you to try. I was like, oh, okay. I've never wrestled before a day in my life. I don't know what bump is. I don't I don't know anything. They're like, well, you better go to a wrestling gym and start getting in shape now. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
What were some of the ideas kind of spiraling in your head? Like, okay, like if this does go the way I think it could go, like, yeah, have any like storylines you were thinking of or anything?
Yeah.
Because NXT today is just
it's
it's
huge.
probably their best brand. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I actually trained a guy who is in NXT right now, and I think the storyline I was gonna take was basically a guy who was, broken, because I was broken at the time. Went through a really bad breakup, but also just like aimlessly through life. Football ended, relationship ended, just in a weird place in my life, and I just was like, what if I like created a character that kind of like is like a phoenix, like rising from the ashes and rebuilding himself, and it's just a grander version of me. That's basically because I'm like, at the end of the day, like sometimes with acting, it's like you don't pretend to be somebody else. You bring out what's already inside of you, and you just kind of make it bigger than life. That's essentially what like Brock Lesnar did. He was Brock Lesnar, but
I feel like he's legitimately just himself.
Dude, he's
camera.
himself. Yeah,
he doesn't care what anyone.
No,
thinks.
he doesn't. And who the hell is gonna say anything to Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
Like, dude's a monster.
Oh my God, there's been so many backstage stories of people who've just gotten into fights with them. Where like, I wish I didn't do that.
Dude, and people forget, like, that dude's a real fighter. Like, you're not gonna just
talk about freakish genetics. Like, nobody can look like that.
No, like on your best year of training, you won't even come close.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wouldn't want to fight him in a real fight.
No, I think
let alone in the WWE ring.
No. There's just certain human beings you just say, you got it. Look, cool. Just leave that man alone. It's not going to end well.
So that was kind of a route to say, like, a pristine athlete. Like, you have to be a one-of-a-kind athlete to do this, but at the same time, like, the acting portion of it. So you talked about being in theater. I read that you were in, what was it, the Old Head web series?
Yeah, the Old Head web series. I was on season 2 of that. Amazing show, amazing experience, amazing cast. The director, Tony Chenault, he actually lives in LA now. His vision for it was just beautiful, man. And it was crazy because the whole show took place in location in parts of Philadelphia.
Really?
And for me, it was kind of like a homecoming because that was the first time I really got to spend time. And I was still living here when I was filming it. I would fly back to Philadelphia to go film my scenes and episodes that I would have to do. So I would fly back for a couple days, if not weeks at a time, to go film that web series. And dude, like when I was doing it, it was fun. It was like playing cops and robbers as a kid. Like, it was a crime drama series. Amazing experience. And that's when I really started falling in love with, just acting again. And it was a great show. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube. It's free. It's called Old Head. I'm on season 2. My character's name was Manny. He's kind of missed that character a little bit, man. He was a cool character to play. Very, very cool guy. But yeah, no, beautiful series. I wish that, we were able to do, another season, but hopefully something comes down the line where we can all meet up again, do something else.
Was that at all based on the real life death? What was his name? Ben Wilson, the guy who died in Chicago?
I don't believe so. A lot of the storylines, I do believe, were from, either the director's life experiences or people he knew. But outside of that, I don't think it, took from that. But again, it was just a well thought out, very well written show. Like, just the dialogue between the characters and the depths of, their backstories and stuff. It was awesome. It was a great show to be a part of.
I mean, these are a ton of unbelievable experiences that you've had, growing up elite athlete, wanting to try different things, whether it would be football, professional wrestling, get into acting a little bit. Now you've kind of found your piece with what you're doing with ReckFit.
Yeah.
What is, because I asked this question to someone earlier, and I wanted to ask you the same thing with everything that you've experienced and everything that you've learned along the way. What's the biggest lesson in life that you are still trying to figure out and still want to learn?
What I still want to learn. Well, let me start with this. I would say my first issue in life was thinking that I had to live up to a certain standard. What I mean by that was that I felt like for a long time that I had to be someone that my family would accept, my friends would accept, just the world would accept. I think that's part of the reason why I took some of the paths that I took. Whereas now, what I'll tell people now is just do what makes you happy, whatever that might be. Don't care about what other people think. Don't care about how it's going to be received. If it makes you happy, do it. I know that at the end of the day, I love helping people, and I help people through fitness. I love talking to people. I love giving advice. I love just, being a coach and a teacher at the end of the day. My calling is just helping people be better and just being a leader. I remember the conversation that I had with one of my teachers. She said, you don't know it yet, you're a leader, but you have the ability to destroy people or build people. So choose who you want to be. And that stuck with me. That she told me that my senior year of high school, and I never forgot that. And I didn't want to be a leader for a long time. I wanted to be selfish. I wanted to do things that I thought people would like or accept. I wanted to do what I thought was popular and fit in, all that stuff. And I realized no wonder I'm not happy. I'm doing things that other people want me to do, or living to a bar or an expectation that I'm never going to reach. It's never going to happen. So why not just do the things that I love to do? So, for me, I don't work a day in my life because I'm doing exactly what I want to do. Now, is that going to evolve and change? Yeah, it's evolving and changing as we speak. But with that being said, at the core thing at the end of the day is being a leader and being a teacher. That's who I am at my core.
Do you think that you've ever had a day where you thought to yourself, like, I'm not passionate about this anymore? Like,
every day.
I should try something
else?
else?
I have a moment every day where I'm like, what am I doing? But I feel like when you're an entrepreneur and you have your own, like, I guess an analogy would be you have your own sailboat and your own compass. You're in the middle of the ocean. Sometimes no one's going to give you the answer. Sometimes you have problems. You're like, how the fuck am I going to solve this? How am I going to figure this out? But you just can't quit at the end of the day. If you quit, quitting is a habit. And that's one thing about me. I refuse to quit. I'm relentless in everything I do. And I'm ultra, ultra, ultra competitive. I have more pride in myself than to allow my negative moments or my moments where I'm like, well, I don't want to do this. And no. We all sometimes get tired. And I think, that's another thing. Like, do you really feel that way, or are you just fatigued? Fatigue makes cowards of us all. Fatigue makes you do stupid things. If you're tired, just take a break. Take a step back. Go on a 3-day trip to freaking Antelope Canyon, like me and my fiance did. Put your phone down. Turn on airplane mode. Do something that you like to do. Go travel a little bit. Sometimes you need to take a step back and come back with fresh eyes and being well rested and being like, you know what? I just had a moment. That's it. You don't throw in the towel. You don't throw in the towel just because you had a moment. And I think that's the problem with, just not just young people, but people in general. They're so quick to give up on themselves. They're so quick to give up on their dreams. Anything worth having is going to take time. And that's something that I promised myself, I would say 2 years ago. I don't care how long this is going to take. I'm going to find my level of success, not someone else's, not live up to someone else's standard or bar. No, my success, because it's defined differently. My success at the end of the day is just being happy. I just want to be happy at the end of the day, however that looks.
How do you implement all of that knowledge into, your clients coming to you being like, I want to look a certain way? Because again, like go back to that thing where it's like, like you can look healthier, but at the same time, like don't put it in your head that you need to look this way in order to be happy.
Yeah, realistic expectations is one. I have people, every trainer has had this. My birthday is in 2 weeks. How fit can I get? How old are you? Oh, I'm 24. You want me to fix 24 years of your decisions in 2 weeks? Listen, I'm good, but I'm not that good. So let's be realistic. This is at least a 6-month project. Well, what do you mean in 6 months? Dude, you're asking me to hit a certain goal for you. It would be irresponsible of me to say, for any coach to say, oh, you can lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Yeah, if you smoke crack and don't eat anything, sure. But you got to think about the long game. So I'm very open and honest with everyone's goals. I'll tell them straight up if something is obtainable and realistic, or if I'm like, hey, you should probably just go see a surgeon and go pay for that. Sometimes you have to be that honest about it. But I think, you know, I set up realistic expectations for them. But also at the end of the day, sometimes you, like I said before, you need to get to the emotional core of things. So for someone who, like, let's say I have a guy right now. He's going through a very just tough time mentally. And I just ask questions. Why are you going through a tough time? Well, you know, I got this house, I got this job, like this is perfect, this is perfect, this is perfect. Okay, what else is wrong? Well, you know, just things aren't good in my relationship. Ah, okay. So, again, bro, you got to leave certain things at the door. Because at the end of the day, this is your time that you're paying for. I feel bad with any client if they're going to come in and not give 100% effort. And I feel like in that moment, I'm like, I don't even want to take your money right now. Like, let's talk. Let's work through this. Like, what is really bothering you? And when they start to discover, like, damn, I can fix my outdoor circumstances. I can just, you know, make a decision that's going to be good for me and everybody else. And I can just make the choice to take care of myself. Like, again, it just goes back to, like, don't let momentary things deter you from your ultimate goal. Like, if you have the power to change certain things, just change it. Whether it's a relationship, a job, an outlook on a certain thing, you can change it. And I was talking today about, like, what I had a couple messages about, like, toxic positivity.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you know, like, you're always trying to be positive. I'm gonna go, yeah, because I'm not always trying to be positive. I just understand that life is about decisions. It doesn't matter if it's about eating the right thing, deciding to wake up at 3:30 in the morning, going to go work out, reading 10 pages of a book every night. I make those decisions every single day because, one, holds me accountable, makes me feel better. It makes me feel like that I'm working towards something, always educating myself about something. And I have my moments. I'm human. I get upset. I get sad. I get depressed and all that stuff. But I don't allow myself to sit in it. Don't sit in your shit. Why would you do that? Just make a choice. You can literally choose to say, you know what? I had my moment. I'm going to move on. I will figure this out one way or another. Yeah, this may not be done in a day. I might hold on to this, but you know what? I will work through it. That's all you can do.
What do you tell the people attending the cancer awareness event this weekend when it comes to stuff like that? Because, again, like, I feel like that's way more casual.
Yeah, it's going to be way more casual. So what I would say to those people, one, thank you for doing something bigger than you.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we live in a very selfish world, an egocentric world. It's not that this isn't about you, me, or it's about those people that are fighting for their lives. This is about raising money for our community, for people that, you know, there's some people who can't afford Uber rides because they're getting cancer treatment right now and they're paying out of pocket for it. And it's even harder now in the COVID era. I couldn't imagine what they're going through. Like, my grandmother just survived colon cancer. The things that she had to endure, not only physically and emotionally, but just like with the protocols they were doing in the hospitals and stuff, it's already stressful wondering, man, is this it? But also on top of that, like, not being able to see your family, I can only imagine what she went through. And I had my fiance had a family member that survived cancer. A bunch of our clients, you know, in the middle of quarantine, had people that survived cancer. So this is very important to us. And I think that at the end of the day, it's paying respect to those people and just doing something, you know, just bigger than us.
And that kicks off at what, 6 a.m. Saturday?
6 a.m. on Saturday.
Bright and early.
Bright and early. Oh yeah, we're early risers. I've already had people say, well, how hard your workout portion going to be? I'm like, don't worry about it. It'll be okay.
Oh, man. Well, Well, that's Saturday at 6 a.m. Thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Of course, man.
A ton of great stuff.
Thank you.
I could talk again. Like, we're not Rogan. We can't go on for 4 hours.
I know.
I
wish.
could. I honestly could. We're definitely gonna have you back in studio sometime soon to discuss way more. I'd love to hear more about some of your NXT stories as well as some of the old head stuff. Because I watched the entire season 1 already.
It's good, right?
I'll be on season 2 where you kind of jump in.
Yeah.
You kind of jump the scene.
Yeah, you'll like it. You'll like the opening scene I did, and that's why I was so happy to play that character. He's just a badass, man. Just out the gate, it was awesome. It was really cool.
I wish you the best of luck in everything you got going. Because again, you got ReckFit coming out, the app's coming out soon. You have a ton of different endeavors that you're pursuing, and it's setting your soul on fire, man. So keep on doing it. This was the O Show, episode 438 with Ian Simon. Of course, head on down to Mayweather Boxing and Fitness in Scottsdale, Arizona. They're open now. And of course, betonline.ag. Sign up for that 50% bonus. Zach, this episode is over. Turn out the lights, man.